Hello and welcome to the Cosmic Portal. Today's topic will be Samadhi, or cosmic bliss. Samadhi is an experience, and in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, it is the final step of yoga, the eighth limb. And there's a lot made of the experience of Samadhi as the final thing that happens, and that there is some distinction to be made that we can experience Samadhi briefly and then come back to our daily lives. And the more we grow our taste for this deeper experience of oneness or bliss that is available to all of us, then we are more inclined to pursue things that bring us closer to that, like yoga and meditation. If you are drawn to yoga and meditation for whatever reason, for the most part, I would say most people come to it because they are suffering for one reason or another, and they would like release from that. There is a lot to be said for taking everything one step at a time and not expecting anything of an experience, say, to come to you, and at the same time, with your own intensity and willpower and surrender and humility and love, that you invariably will come to experience those things. And that's the beauty of yoga, is that it does work in a scientific way, that these laws of karma and consciousness and whatever the greater picture story that's playing out here, these things are patterns that arise within us continuously, and the more that we become aware of them, the more we can see how to identify less with the swirling tornadoes of feeling or sense experience that are produced by the outside world. And when we can sit in the eye of the tornado, or even just the center of the lotus, when we find that place of stillness, not just outwardly by, say, sitting still in meditation or any time, but to really feel that stillness at the center point of your heart, and to grow that connection, maintain that remembrance of that connection. Certainly in meditation, when there's less distractions of the outside world, it's easier to do that. And then by strengthening that practice in meditation, you bring it with you throughout the rest of your daily life. And the concept of samadhi is not the same as the experience of samadhi. So to say you have to go through these levels and then you reach this state and you are now here, you will always be here, and you have always been here, and you always are here. So in the sense that thinking about things as a linear path is only one part of the process, that when we are too engrossed in the process of time and space, sometimes we forget how things can change in an instant, and how we can change our reality, change our habits, change our thoughts, and that we're capable of doing this in our lives, that we are the creators of our destiny and our thoughts and our karma are playing out continuously. And even when we are in this state of total liberation, we still have thoughts and will probably also have karma until we're fully awakened. So this might be a lot, but this idea that you in religion or in spirituality, all of this idea of putting enlightened beings on a pedestal and treating them as if, you know, they are somehow so different from you that like it's just worth looking at them and being like, that is a great example of a human being. In reality, like, these realized beings are just examples, archetypes for the self, and the archetype for the self is that of a realized being, someone who knows the truth or knows who they are. And so being able to bring this awareness of perhaps the things that seem unachievable into the realm of the possible or the achievable, and not through your own effort alone, but through this state of communion or divine memory or awareness of the world as a dream, and your heart as the sort of Wi-Fi receiver for the divine reality that is beyond the world that we perceive in all its shapes and colors and experiences. As beautiful as they are, there is the deeper experience that is only experienced within, through the interfacing with your nervous system and cutting off or withdrawing the senses from the world temporarily to experience that interfacing with the nervous system. So when your eyes are closed, when it's quiet, when you don't have any external input, you can call that meditation or you can call that sensory deprivation. To everybody, it's a little bit different. So it's about cultivating peace in that state, and then growing that peace through love, growing that peace through energy, through breath, through building that awareness of who you are outside of your immediate responses and reactions to the outside world and all of your responsibilities. So this experience of taking a step back, recognizing that if you want to make it spiritual or ritualistic or religious in a particular way, that's your thing. There's the science of it, and there's the love and the truth of it, and that it doesn't have to be more complicated, or our thoughts about this kind of thing don't have to be more complicated than they need to be. That simplifying the process of awakening is something that we all strive for and we all want, and to feel this sense of deep freedom and joy, bliss, that those are things that are human universals that we all seek in some way or another. And by maintaining that awareness that this is a shared journey and that it's a universal quest, there's no escaping the fact that we all have nervous systems and that we all interact with the world and that we're all alive and breathing and going to die. Like, these are all things that are true to every single person. And so to separate by nation or creed or sex or religion or status or anything is to create a false barrier. And at the same time, it's one of the most natural things for the mind to do, is to want to compartmentalize so that it can make sense of the world. And when we come into this awareness of the oneness of this planet, the oneness of humankind, and the oneness of our own self, that when we're not being pulled in so many different directions by so many things, we can start to recognize that oneness inside ourselves. And that all of the bigger picture things on the earth, whether we're talking about wars or poverty or environmental destruction, any of the big picture problems all start with the individual. And there's any number of, saints, sages, psychologists, who, you name it, talk about the evolution of the individual, of the identity, as being central to this awakening of humanity. And it's identifying with spirit, it's identifying with the self, with the essence of you that is beyond, that is immortal, that is not of this earthly realm, that has come here to learn lessons, perhaps. And even if, regardless of your beliefs, that if, let's just say, because this is a very simple way to put it, is that all we have is the here and now, and that doesn't change for anyone in terms of based on like spiritual beliefs. We're all here, and to be able to fully experience the present moment, regardless of whatever is going to happen next, sets us up to be able to better experience the next present moment, and sets us up to have less judgment about it and more presence and awareness. And the more that we see the big picture, the more we feel compassion, the less we feel judging, and judging of self, judging of others. And at the same time, we recognize that as that grows within us, discernment grows as well. And discernment and judgment, you might say, are very similar things, but perhaps one is more directed inwardly and one's directed more outwardly. And that's not a perfect definition. It just is a way of describing how to shift your energy to focus on yourself and growing your connection to what's most important in your life and the things that bring you joy. And that this circling back experience of samadhi is not to be taken as something that is somehow different from anything else that you'd experience in your life, in terms of, let's just say you go to work, you go to the store, you get some exercise, you have dinner with your family, whatever it is. The experience of having a deeper dropping into the self, or a deeper connection to the self through a meditation practice or a spiritual practice or creative practice even, there's infinite numbers of ways of connecting to yourself. And they all bring varying levels of bliss. So to say, to only pursue samadhi, or this divine communion in meditation, and deny yourself the other things in life, may also be a detriment. So pursue with intensity, and also recognize the balance of having a real human life, and to find the courage and the ability to cultivate these deeper states within yourself while being a force for change in the world, and recognizing that in integrating these deeper experiences into ourselves, into our minds, into our bodies, into our emotions, and allowing ourselves to feel this depth puts so much of life in perspective, and allows us to let go of things. And even just these little tastes of bliss or peace that you may experience in a meditation practice, all of this is just to give you a little bit of inspiration and a little bit of motivation to continue and to grow your joy in the outside world, so that when you are building and growing your meditation practice, that you're soaking it up all the time. You're soaking it up when you're meditating, you're soaking it up when you're working, you're soaking it up when you're with your friends. It's all this process of building a more beautiful world and building a beautiful you. And this journey of self awakening or evolution is what we are all here to do, and to enjoy and share this process together is one of the most beautiful things that we can do on earth, is to have the close connections and the relationships that are truly soul nurturing and feeding us and bringing us closer to that space within ourselves. And so surrounding yourself with those people that are most pursuing the things that matter to you, and finding those people and bringing your whole self, your whole energy, your enthusiasm to those experiences, and your curiosity, maybe even above just about anything else, is that sense of wonder and awe and just curiosity at life that will bring you closer in your quest within to discover and learn more about yourself and awaken this divine connection. So, Samadhi is a place, a portable paradise that exists within all of us, that we carry everywhere we go. The more we practice breath and meditation, understand Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, understand the messings, the blessings, I like the messings. Your mess is your message. The blessings of the masters and the blessings of the people in our lives that are here to share lessons with us. And every day feeling gratitude will bring us 1% closer to our goal. So, without further ado, I wish you a beautiful day. Thank you for listening.